Have you ever held on to someone or something or a season of your life long after you knew it was time to let go? Not because you wanted to, but because you were afraid of what life would look like without it. Today we're talking about letting go without losing yourself. Welcome back to Breaking Cycles with Tamara. I am Tamara Hamill, author, speaker, talent acquisition leader, and the founder of Breaking Cycles Youth Initiative. Over the last week, we have talked about healing, boundaries, rediscovering ourselves, forgiveness for ourselves, or forgiving ourselves, not forgiveness for others. But today, we're talking about one of the hardest part of healing. It's very important, very essential, and a serious topic. Not that all the others weren't, but this is a serious topic. Letting go. Learning to let go. Whether it's relationships, expectations, resentment, or old versions of ourselves, healing often asks us to release what we no longer carry. And I'm the perfect example for that, because I am, or I have become, the queen of letting go and releasing what no longer serves me. Here is a couple things that I do want to point out when it comes to learning to let go and how vital and important this is when it comes to your healing journey. It's very important letting go of unhealthy relationships. And during my journey and process, when I was going through my healing, that was one of the most important and vital relationships, habits, season that was the most important for me. And let me explain why. For those who have read Backbone, know that as much as I grew up in a fruitful family, I grew up in an abusive family. And so there were two people in my life that did not give me the security, the safe environment that I needed, and a very pivotal perspective of what I had to let go and who I had to let go were my parents. And a lot of people may look and say, your parents, how? Listen. And this is for all females out there. You giving birth to a child or having a baby, if you can, because there's some women who do wish that they could and don't and unable to. This is for all my females. There's a difference between a mother and giving birth to a child. I had a woman that gave birth to me, no disrespect, because I have forgiven her, but she was never a mother to me, never mothered me, never loved me, never cared for me, literally told me I was too dark to be her child. But I always, and for a very long time, not always, because no longer doing so, but for a very long time, I yearned the love and care of a mother. I wanted to know what that felt like. I got it more from my stepmother, but not my biological. And so I reached a pivotal point in my life as an adult that as much as I invite that person into my life and my energy and my space, it was always giving me a disservice. It was bringing pain because that person chose to never heal. And so I had to choose my peace over their happiness of me. I have a father who did, by credit, more for me than a mother should have. But the father chose a direction where his habits and his love for women interfere with how he should raise and nurture his children. And so I had to walk away from those unhealthy relationships in order to heal me and give me a peace of mind, and for me to make sure that I was not projecting those behaviors of my brokenness onto my children. And so that's how breaking cycles came about, because I didn't want to repeat the same things. And that took a lot, because as an adult, I didn't know the difference. I had to search and find and understand what the difference should look like. And so letting go, or learning to let go, or letting go of unhealthy relationships, it's letting go of expectations, it's letting go of old identities, it's accepting that not everyone is meant to stay. And not everyone was meant to stay in the seasons or in my life the way they should. And I want you to be able to do that. Keep in mind, Jesus, what he was created to be, he had to let go of Judas. And so I move in the direction and discernment of treating people the same way Jesus treated Judas. Loved him, but he had to let him go, because Judas' process and what Jesus was created for were two different things and intentions. And so in his Last Supper and in the end, Judas kissed him, and what did he say? Basically, okay, hurry up and go do what you had to do. When he betrayed him, he didn't look back once or twice. He did this and he ran off. And so I do the same thing. I will love you from afar. I will pray for you, and I wish you absolutely nothing but abundance blessing. Because what I will not allow you to do is hinder and stop my blessing. So I had to release and learn to let go for my peace of mind. But when I tell you that I humbly, earnestly, and honestly pray for people every single night before I go to bed, I do, because I want nothing but the best, doesn't mean that I have to sit at the same table with you. Doesn't mean that I have to be in your presence, and doesn't mean that you have to be in mine. So learning that releasing someone doesn't always mean there's no love. I love you. I genuinely, with every fiber of my being, love you. It sometimes means, however, choosing peace, and I had to choose mine. I had to choose mine. Doesn't mean that I love you any less. And so I want everyone that is listening to the sound of my voice to understand that learning to let go is not letting go because it doesn't mean that you don't love, but it sometimes means choosing your peace is healthier than the old habits, the expectations, the false identity, the unhealthy relationships. It is essential to let go. Take that in for a minute. I used to believe that letting go meant failure. It does not. What I've realized is that sometimes letting go is one of the bravest decisions that we can make. It is. It was the bravest decision I had to make. Not because it doesn't hurt, because it hurts like hell. Who wouldn't want to have their parents in their life? Who wouldn't? Like honestly. Who wouldn't? But I had to realize that healing sometimes requires... Almost lost my train of thought there. Healing sometimes requires us to make room for what's next. Yeah, I had to make room for what was next in my life. What was the next season? What should I have prepared for? What does my life look like? What was the outcome? And I will honestly tell you, I've never been more at peace, calm, grounded, humble, prosperous, is when I released through my healing journey the importance of letting go or learning to let go of things that were unhealthy in my surrounding, my environment, releasing unhealthy behaviors around me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, not that I'm here to condemn anyone that does, not for me to say. I'm talking about what I chose for me. And so unhealthy habits put us in a different space of how we really should move in life, or how we accept things that no longer serve us correctly. So I want to provide the lessons to you that I always do on all my series as we go through and I talk to you about the different journeys of healing. And lesson one is not everything is meant to go with you. I used to always say, not everyone can go where God is taking me. And that's so true. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Not everything is meant to go with you. Some relationships are seasonal. Some opportunities are temporary. Some version of ourselves have served their purpose. But always remember this, growth requires making room for what comes next. Lesson number 2. Holding on can become heavy. Sometimes we carry old guilt, old pain, old expectations, old opportunities. Healing asks us to decide what is worth carrying forward and what isn't. Ooh. Yeah. Lesson number 3. Letting go is an act of trust. You don't always know what's waiting on the other side. But holding on to what no longer serves you keep you from experiencing what does. Sometimes peace begins where controls ends. So let me ask you this. What are you holding on to? And whatever you're holding on to, is it helping you heal or keeping you from moving forward? What would your life look like if you trusted yourself enough to release what no longer belongs to you? What would your life look like? This week, choose one thing, just one. That's all I'm asking for. One thing. It could be a grudge, an unhealthy expectation, a habit. It could be fear. It could be simply relationship dynamics, or simple the pressure to be everything for everyone. Choose one thing and then ask yourself, is this helping me become who I want to be? Just be honest with yourself and just one thing. And just ask yourself, is it helping you to become who you truly want to be? Next week, we are going to discuss when healing feels lonely. When healing feels lonely. And it does. Because sometimes after letting go, we experience a season of quiet before we discover new connections and new purpose. It's about to get real. So with that being said, Thank you for joining another episode of Breaking Cycles with Tamara. If today's conversation encourages you, subscribe, share this episode, and invite someone to join this journey with us. Remember, letting go doesn't erase your story. It creates space for the next chapter. You're allowed to release what no longer serves you. You're allowed to choose peace. And you are allowed to move forward without carrying everything that once defined you, or you may have thought defined you. Until next time, keep choosing healing, keep choosing growth, and keep breaking the cycles that no longer belong in your life. God bless. Peace and love to you.